Hi, I'm Lynda Tarras. I help leaders and teams maximize their effectiveness in this increasingly complex world of ours. Communication is job one as a leader right now, and thankfully we are seeing some examples of great communicators across the world, including New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern and Dr. Bonnie Henry, the Provincial Health Officer in my home province of British Columbia. I'm loving the fact that these are both women as well. These are wonderful examples of how to show up authentically, provide support and comfort to people, and offer a sense of confidence and control in their daily lives. My work these days puts me in a position to witness what's going on inside organizations who have been forced to reimagine their businesses, cut costs, and take steps to either furlough some of their employees or even lay them off. Many people I speak to are among those left behind in the organization, many of whom are working from home and craving the connection that they are missing with their executives, their leaders, and their coworkers. Most of these people report that they are getting most of their information from their direct supervisor, and only when those supervisors have time. Supervisors are feeling overloaded with responsibilities both at work and at home, and often struggle to give the staff the information they need to remain focused and do their best work. Here are 3 questions to consider as you are thinking about communicating with the people inside your organization. What kind of leader do I need to be in this context? How do I choose the channels that will work well for me, and what new channels should be created? And what are the essential elements of a good communication strategy? First up, determine what kind of leader you need to be in this situation. People have a natural tendency to look for comfort, control, and confidence in these times. It's really important to be visible in a number of different forms. Demonstrate that being open and accessible is a priority for you right now. Sharing as much of what you know is as important as what you don't know. It helps for people to understand that there are things that are not decided or not completely clear and understood at this time. Otherwise, it could feel like there's a lack of transparency, one of the essential building blocks for establishing trust. Be you. Many people hesitate to communicate because they're afraid of being less than perfect. I've learned that it is perfectly okay to be humble and human. If your delivery is a little clumsy, you'll be forgiven. If you are uncomfortable or concerned, say so. It will show anyway. Consistency in these times is huge. It also helps people process if there's a pattern and a schedule. There's an expression that tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. This is particularly important right now. Giving people a mental roadmap to follow as they are listening to you or reading you helps calm the mind and allows for a better penetration of the message. Predictability on the schedule of communication helps too. Years ago, I was leading a significant restructuring within an organization. We scheduled short conference calls with every staff member every Monday. Some days there was more to say than others, but the feedback that I got was that it was important for staff to know that Monday was the day they would hear me and have an opportunity to ask questions. The predictability of that seemed to matter more than the message. This brings me to the second tip. Choose the channels that work well and create new ones where you need to. Based on the feedback that I'm getting from people in all kinds of different organizations, trickle-down communications isn't working really well right now. People are craving to hear from all levels in the organization, particularly their executives. If you don't have direct channels to get to people, now is the time to create them. That said, don't disregard the traditional channels like those frontline supervisors. Use them too. The trick is to equip frontline supervisors with the right information so that consistent messages can flow freely and easily, top to bottom, side to side, throughout the organization. It helps to give supervisors and managers their own forum as well, so they can ask questions and express their concerns away from the ears and eyes of their direct reports. They will tend to be more open with you and more inclined to offer good intelligence about what's really going on in the organization and the business. Think about others, those stakeholders and influencers who will be out in the world talking to your staff and customers. Make sure you equip them with information and tools as well so that they can help you reinforce the correct messaging. Finally, design the strategy to bridge the gap between what you need to say and what they need to hear. It's really important to scan the audiences, scan the environment, to understand the different needs of the people that you're speaking with. Develop a set of simple key messages and reinforce them continually. Be sure to start with why. Why is this happening? Why should they care about these issues? Why are the changes necessary? Why is the organization taking the steps it is taking? And design for two-way communication. How can you get feedback that will help you shape further communications and adjust key message points as new data comes in? Always listen to connect with people rather than to judge or reject their responses. There's always a reason for the reactions you're getting, the emotions, the perceptions that you are seeing. Get underneath that and ask yourself, what does this tell me about what I need to do next? In summary, thinking about how you want to lead and communicate, what channels you will use that will be most effective for you, and strategically designing your approach will go a long way to being an effective communicator right now. There's a couple of other things to keep in mind. Number one, recognize that you will need to answer the same question over and over again in different ways. Establishing a set of FAQs or frequently asked questions and posting them somewhere would help, but it won't eliminate the need to repeat yourself. It goes with the territory. People aren't trying to be difficult. As I mentioned in my last video, the brain can sometimes get in the way of us processing logical and factual information, particularly when we're feeling vulnerable and insecure. And remember that communication doesn't just occur with words, but also with actions. There are many great examples of organizations who are sending strong messages with the actions they're taking right now. What could you do specifically in this context that will send your message without explanation? I hope that you've found these tips helpful. I would be happy to help you strengthen your executive and leadership communications for these times. Send me a message and arrange a time to discuss what specific challenges you are having and how I might help you. Stay well. I'll see you soon.